Sonic Lost World, Sonic Pseudo Wrudo, is an action-adventure platform video game published by Nintendo in Europe and Australia, and Sega in North America and Japan, and developed by Sonic Team for the Wii U and Nintendo 3DS platforms. The game was released in October 2013. The game's story focuses on the efforts of the Deadly Six, a tribe who serves as the game's main antagonists, as they seek to siphon energy from the world. The protagonist of the series, Sonic the Hedgehog, must team up with the antagonist, Dr. Eggman, to stop the Deadly Six. The game received mixed reviews upon release. Critics disparaged the game's control scheme, but its visuals and music were seen positively.
Sonic Lost World is a platform game with action adventure elements, in which the player controls Sonic the Hedgehog as he travels across the lost packs in order to rescue captured animals and stop the Deadly Six. 5 levels range from side-scrolling 2D levels to fast-moving 3D linear levels to levels taking place on spherical worlds similar to the cancelled Sonic Extreme and the Super Mario Galaxy series. 6, 7 series to feature 3D gameplay.
The game uses a new control system which allows players to control sonic speed. Simply moving the directional controls will move Sonic at a moderate pace, allowing for more precision. Holding down the trigger button will put Sonic into a run, allowing him to move faster and perform new parkour moves, such as running up and along walls and hopping over small ledges. 5. In the air, Sonic can perform a double jump, which returns from Sonic colors, a homing attack, which can now target multiple enemies in quick succession, and a new kick attack, which can be used to defeat stronger enemies, or knock them into others. Also returning from colors are the Wisp abilities, which are now controlled using the Wii U gamepad's touch screen and gyroscopic features, alongside returning powers such as drill, laser, and rocket. New powers include Eagle, which lets Sonic fly through the air, Asteroid, which atomizes objects in his path, and Rhythm, which lets him bounce along a path of notes. There are also some Wisps exclusive to each version of the game. 9. During the game, players can rescue animals by destroying enemies are opening containers, allowing players to progress or find red star rings that open up circus-themed bonus stages where players can earn more animals. Collecting all the red star rings in the game unlocks the ability to transform into Super Sonico. The Wii U version supports both cooperative multiplayer, in which a second player can control a remote-controlled vehicle to assist Sonic, and competitive multiplayer, in which a second player can use the Wii U gamepad screen to race against the other player. 11. The game also supports Miiverse, an off-TV play functionality. 12. Using Miiverse, players can exchange items such as wisps or shields, which grow more effective if they are used by other players. The 3DS version supports both local and online multiplayer for up to 4 players, and features exclusive special stages that use gyroscopic controls. Golden RC vehicles appear in the single-player mode of the 3DS version if the player dies multiple times on a level, along with special monitors that transport the player to the next checkpoint in the Wii U version. 13. Players may also customize RC vehicles in the 3DS version, which can then used in the Wii U version.
7 returning characters from previous Sonic titles star in Sonic Lost World. The protagonist, Sonic the Hedgehog, is a hedgehog who must defeat the main antagonist Dr. Eggman and stop the Deadly Six. Aiding him in his quest is Miles, Tails, Prower, Sonic's fox friend who has the ability to fly, Knuckles the Echidna, Sonic's Echidna friend, and Amy Rose, his pink hedgehog friend, also make relatively minor apps.
The main antagonist of the series, Dr. Eggman, is a mad scientist who seemingly turns over a new leaf to help Sonic stop the Deadly Six. 16. Orbit and Cubit make a return appearance as Eggman's henchmen, also serving as the main antagonists and boss characters are the Deadly Six, a group of the world's indigenous Eddie race consisting of Zaz, a hyperactive Zeddy, Zamom, an obese and dim-witted Zeddy, Master Zik, the elderly founder of the tribe and Zavok's teacher, Xena, a flirtatious and self-absorbed Zeddy, Zer, a diminutive and pessimistic Zeddy, and Zavok, the tribe's leader. The tribe plans to steal the energy from Sonic's lost world. The Deadly Six rebel against Eggman and take control of his badnik army. They then start to use one of Eggman's machines to siphon energy from Sonic's world below, planning to drain all of its life force until there is nothing left and use it to power themselves up. Reluctantly, Sonic agrees to work with Eggman, believing that he needs his help to stop the machine. Though this seems to cause some distrust between him and Tails.
Development for Lost World started shortly after Sonic Colors was finished, 23, and took place over 2.5 years. 2. Sonic Team sought to streamline the controls. 24. Increase the length. 23. And add more diverse levels compared to previous entries in the series. 14. After reviewing the history of the franchise with Sonic Generations, game producer Takashi Iizuka hoped to deliver a new experience with Lost World. 23. Development started on PC, with early experiments involving Twisted Tube type levels inspired by Jack and the Beanstalk. 23. As the concept was totally new, early levels had to be remade over and over. 25. Players were given greater ability to control Sonic's speed in an effort to create a more traditional platforming experience. 2. The parkour mechanic was introduced to maintain a more fluid sense of movement, in contrast to previous Sonic games, where running into a wall would force the player to a complete stop. 24. Iizuka stated that this game is like going into the rabbit zone of Zonus and Zonderzone. A trademark for the title Sonic Lost World was filed by Sega in mid-2013, and pointed out by website Siliconera on May 15, 2013. 28. 29. The game was first revealed on May 17, 2013 in a Nintendo Direct announcement. 30. As part of an exclusive partnership between Sega and Nintendo for the Sonic the Hedgehog series. 29. It is one of 3 games in this partnership, the other ones being the 4th entry to the Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games series, and Sonic Boom, a game based on the animated series of the same name. Sega reported that more on the game would be revealed before the Electronic Entertainment Expo 2013 convention. 31. And that the game will contain both returning and new original characters, both in enemies and friends of Sonic. 32. On May 23, 2013, Sega posted a teaser showing silhouette images of the Deadly Six, and stating that more would be revealed on May 29th. 33. The first trailer for the game was released on May 28th, a day earlier than previously announced. On October 9, 2013, a downloadable demo of the Windy Hill Zone 1 stage was made available in Japan for both Wii U and 3DS. 34. The demo was later released in the United States and Europe on November 14th and November 21st respectively. 35. 36. The game's official soundtrack, titled Without Boundaries, was released via physical media in Japan on November 27, 2013, and digitally in the United States and Europe on December 2, 2013. 37. To promote the release of Sonic Lost World, Hardlight Studios released an update for Sonic Dash that includes a boss battle against Zez, one of the Deadly Six. Hey, my nephew has Sonic Dash. My verse. 39.40 additional pre-order bonuses differ by retailer, including special gold or Sonica Macau or C gadgets. 25 additional lives and color power uses. 41. A patch for the Wii U version was released on December 10, 2013, adding additional features such as button controls for some wisps and the traditional extra life reward for collecting 100 rings. 42. On December 18, 2013, Nintendo announced 2 exclusive pieces of DLC for the Wii U version based on other Nintendo games. The first DLC stage, Yoshi's Island Zone, was released on the day of the announcement and is available to download for free, with a second DLC, presumably based on The Legend of Zelda, to come at a later date.
Yeah, right.
Strong criticism was directed at the game's control scheme, especially the new parkour mechanic. Tori never got a good feel for the rhythm of wall running and jumping, and felt lucky to pass sections where it was forced. 54. Hargraves 67. Walton 58. An official Nintendo magazine's Matthew Castle 70. Agreed. Incognito pointed out that Sonic has a tendency to wall run on any vertical surface he's airborne near, whether I want him to or not. 60. However, Enzo Seotaro said the parkour felt great and turned most obstructions into minor hurdles in the 3DS version. 61. While Nintendo Insider's Alex Seedhouse called the parkour far more responsive on 3DS. 69. The multi-lock homing attack was widely panned. Schilling wrote that while most of the time it works perfectly well. It appeared to inexplicably fail on occasion, calling it imprecise on Wii U and even more capricious on 3DS. Yeah, we need an update, Sugu. Reaction to the game's level design was mixed. Terry made note of oddly placed invisible springs in the Wii U versions, confusing and aggravating. Levels 54. An expressed frustration with the 3DS version's head-scratching puzzles. 55. Walton preferred the inoffensive 2D sections to the frustrating mishmash of speed and exploration found in 3D. 58. Plant praised the Wii U version's 3D stages as wildly creative exercises in platforming experimentation, while blasting its 2D stages as so clunky and tiresome that it's hard to imagine a time when a side-scrolling Sonic was actually good. 62. Fellow Polygon writer Philip Collar was harsher on the 3DS version due to its confusing and labyrinthine level design and awkward puzzles. 63. Incognito stated that the Wii U version's levels were stuck in design gridlock and lack rhythm and cohesion. 60. Otero praised the 3DS version's better competently made racetracks full of alternate pathways, but called the trial and error, required trial and error, required trial and error, required. Alternate gameplay styles polarized many critics. Daniel Cairns of videogamer.com and Castle highlighted the level where Sonic becomes a giant snowball as genuinely excellent. 64 and a cool riff on Monkey Ball. 70, whereas Tori and Ingenito described it as atrocious. 54 and uncontrollable. 60, Tori received multiple game overs during the mundane mandatory pinball sequence. 54, Walton felt that some of the wisps were an amusing aside, while others suffered from frustrating motion controls. 58, commentators Justin Spear stated that the wisps don't really feel like they belong in the Wii U version. 59, Totalo preferred how the wisps were used in the 3DS version. 72, but Towell stated that while they were more integral to the design, they tended to interrupt the free-form gameplay with clumsy mechanics. 57, Towell described the 3DS version's motion-controlled special stages as borderline unplayable. 57, but Seed House praised them as a significant awkward. 72, Tori called the Wii U version's co-op mode useless. 50, Therefore, although SlideTalk believed it was suitable for families with younger players. 68. Castle wrote that 2-player races would be a cool addition were it not for the horrible framerate issues. 70. Reception to the Deadly Six was negative. Although Towell enjoyed their fun, stereotypical personalities, he was disappointed by their awful dialogue. 56. Spear called the boss battles weirdly anticlimactic. 59. Alexander noted that they primarily consist of a repetition of homing attacks. 66. And Ingenito stated they were some of the most boring in the series history. 60. Tori referred to the Deadly Six as generic, forgettable, and some of the most aggressively annoying villains ever. K.E. of Genius. 69. Totalo and critics disagreed over what to make of the game as a whole. Alexander wrote that Lost World harks back to the classic days of gaming that got me into video games in the first place. A time when developers aim to challenge players rather than guide their hand through a movie experience. 66. Destructoid's Jim Sterling said it can wildly swing from brilliant to horrific at the drop of a hat. But when one steps back and takes a look at the whole production, one sees far more to love than hate. 49. Plant noted that the early stages display a degree 62 empires. David McComb called it a cheap, cruel, crushing disappointment in the wake of Sonic Colors and Generations. 65. Walton concluded that in overtly coveting the great Italian plumber, it smothers the talents of its blazing blue hedgehog. 58. This page was last modified on the 8th of February 2014 at 2037. Text is available under the Creative Commons Attribution Share Alike license. Additional terms may apply. By using this site, you agree to the terms of use and privacy policy. Wikipedia registered trademark is a registered trademark